Good afternoon, everybody, and here's the FRUCOM update on trade, markets, and logistics related to COVID-19. We cover in this update a whole range of countries globally, for instance, the European countries such as the UK, France, Spain, Germany. We also cover Central Europe, Canada, the US. Moving on further, we talk about Iran, Turkey, the Gulf states, Morocco, China, India, Indonesia, and Latin America. Today's update is about the period of 14th to the 20th of April, and the source of this information is the Agricultural Attaché Network of the Dutch Ministry of Agriculture, Nature and Food Quality. So today we will start with fisheries, and for instance, as we present in the update, the UK government is offering British fisheries a support package of £10 million. 9 million of this amount is reserved for direct cash grants for fisheries and aquaculture companies. Further about the UK, Seafish, the semi-public organisation supporting the UK seafood sector, has advised supermarket chains in the UK about purchasing more fish landed nationally. The retailers showed goodwill but indicated that would require some adaptation in terms of necessary certificates. Seafish also sees a problem with the lack of processing capacity to some extent. In Indonesia, the fish prices have decreased by 50%, and in Belgium, because of the disappearance of the export and huge reduction in the catering market, the turnover of the fish auction in Ostend decreased by 30% compared to last year. The Belgian consumers have also been advised to rediscover local fish species. Some good news as some countries start to move out of the lockdown. For instance, Poland has presented a plan for progressive removal of the measures. Germany has also decided to relax some measures. For instance, the shops up to 800 square meters can reopen as of today. Also, the German Ministry of Agriculture expects that there will be sufficient workers to harvest and sow in the coming months. In Italy, some sectors also restarted operations, and we can also say that in March a record increase of 19% was spent on groceries. In the US, USDA has announced its initial plans to deploy $23 billion that Congress has set aside for the agricultural sector. Moving on to Iran, the government has granted the permission to low-risk companies to restart operating, and as of last week, more than 1 million companies have already applied for such a permit. We can also say that the Iranian agri-food industry is running at full speed. India is looking at a record crop, including of oilseeds. And finally, the last piece of this summary is about transport and Turkey. The Ministry of the Interior is reported to have tightened the requirements for truck drivers. 14 days of quarantine also applies to transport from all countries except Azerbaijan, Bulgaria and Georgia. That has an effect on the EU transport companies, of course. So this is just a short summary. For the full report, please look at the Word document attached, and thank you and see you next week.